And the play clock running. Very low, so Dan Quinn decides to call for a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. First carry for Darius Geis. Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Set now on second down. And his throw here is incomplete. Kenny Galladay, the intended receiver. And that takes us from second to third down.
When you see passes knocked down by those guys I call the frustrated fullbacks, the linebackers, you know that in their zone coverage, they were able to drop, see the ball thrown, and react to it very quickly.
An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. Now the Bears electing to call a timeout defensively. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. To throw, Brissett sliding out of the pocket. Throwing deep for Galladay. He rifles one that's intercepted. Eddie Jackson picks it, and they will set up shop at their own 41-yard line. They were ball hawks last week. They had a trio of interceptions on defense. In the first drive, they pick up right where they left off.
They're creating quite a reputation for themselves, aren't they? And sometimes what happens is, when they know that the defense can take the ball away, as they saw the previous week, now you try too hard to not let them take it away, and you force yourself into errors. They've intimidated them in a sense and gotten the ball from them.
On the move to his left. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. So they took a shot on first down but couldn't connect.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
First carry now for Jordan Howard. And he's going to take this one up only to about the 44-yard line. In on the stop that time, Terrell Basham.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
Let's go! Grand 38! Grand 38!
On third down, Crawford. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off around the 37. And the return out shy of midfield to the 46-yard line. Unfortunately for him, if last week was any indication, we knew a pick was coming at some point. Last week it was interception after interception, and here we go again.
We actually quit counting last week at a certain point because I thought I was going to run out of fingers, all right, because I'm not all that skilled as a mathematician. But you're right. It felt like a matter of time, and you got to think the guys on defense, they couldn't wait for this opportunity after what they saw on tape.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold him to no gain.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. It'll be a gain of 17 and an Indianapolis first down.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
And he'll take this one down to the 36. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it. So those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
Play action now, Brissett. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Rashard Matthews, the intended target, and it's 3rd down.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing. Interestingly,
that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. So 3rd down, they need to get to the 28 for a first. Brissett. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you go make a play on the football.
And did they keep it in? They did. They kept it in. It's down close to the goal line at the 1-yard line. Now the Bears offense ready to take over again. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for is that word that some people don't want to hear. But it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's 2 different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
We got 3, fellas. Come on, let's go. Grand 38.
They'll throw again from their own end zone. And that's going to be incomplete. Allen Robinson, the intended receiver. And it'll bring up 3rd down. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again. Just like last week, each game is its own entity, treated as such.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10.
Let's go. Grand 38. Grand 38.
To throw from his end zone, Crawford. And that will be incomplete as well.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And he'll just punch it out of there, and it's not a great kick. He'll take it at the 42. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Colts are set up well as they take over 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. And the results for them have not been strong to this point. 2 drives have ended in a turnover and then a punt.
So would it be too snarky for me to say that they've shown improvement? Because you had two drives with turnovers. Now they punted it away, so at least they didn't turn it over. So that's good, right?
You're going to get some angry users reaching out to you on social media.
Well, I don't mean to be. I was actually looking for the positive. Silver lining, you know.
Brissett. And this one is incomplete. T.Y. Hilton, the intended receiver. And it's second down.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Throwing again, Brissett on 2nd and 10. He'll set up the screen to Drake. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. So the screen good for only 2. Now it's 3rd down.
In order for a screen pass to break big, a lot of things have to come together and be well executed. But all it takes is one small thing to go wrong and keep it from being a big game.
On 3rd down, Brissett. Hard throw, incomplete.
Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. That's the 3rd time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from it. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the 1st quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead. So it's an empty possession there, and you'd have to say it's not like him to come up short on a kick like that.
Yeah, and it's real easy for me to say this, but anything in the 40 to 49-yard range should be pretty automatic for an NFL kicker, especially in terms of at least getting it there. So you're right. That is a surprise that this would come up short.
Flex round! Flex round!
Throwing on 1st down. Crawford. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess.
Let's go! Brad 38! Brad 38! Switch! Right there. 54. Right there. Right there. 54 Mike. Ohio! Ohio! Check 9. Check 9. Hut!
And that'll set them back 5. And now after the delay of game, they're operating behind the sticks, 2nd and 15. On the handoff, this is Howard. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. 5 yards will get him back to the original line of scrimmage, but now they're looking at 3rd and 10.
Let's go! What?
From the gun, Crawford. It's caught on the right side by Robinson. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down. Here's Brett Kern now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time.
They can't move the ball on us. Nowhere! Nowhere! All day, baby. Get
Fielded at the 20. Now a late flag comes in as they got him down via the face mask, and that'll give him even better starting position. A lack of discipline defensively on 4th down, and now that leads to a 1st and 10. On the toss play, this is Drake. And very little running room there. He did get a couple up to the 49.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Flush. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Khalil Mack in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year. It's 3rd and long for Brissett. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And this will be covered up. Pretty good result. It'll be down at the 14-yard line. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. Clayton Gathers makes the stop.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense, because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Let's go! White 90! White 90!
Looking to throw on second down. Crawford. Rush coming, and he's taken down. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense. And my goodness, they're now out of timeouts here in this first quarter. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Hey!
No run call here. They'll look to throw instead. And this is going to be incomplete. There is no denying they want to get him involved. That's already the 5th time that they've looked his way in this first quarter.
So that tells me defensively that they want to insist on going in that direction. Make sure you've got your best people in the area to try and take that away.
And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. And taken at the 46. And that negates a pretty decent punt return.
And the goal is to gain a first down on a punt return, which is 10 yards. This was much more than that, but it is going to come back due to the illegal block in the back.
2 seconds to go, first quarter.
Ohio! Ohio! Let's go! White 90! White 90! Ha-ha! Ohio! Ohio!
On 1st and 10, Brissett rolling to his right. Now he's going to throw it back deep over the middle. Looking to hit Matthews, but it's intercepted. Eddie Jackson picks it. And he is all the way up past the 25. Brandon Gordon, Charles Davis back with you as it's Bears football here to begin quarter number 2.
Let's go! Grand 38!
On first down, Crawford throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. Trey Burton, the one he was looking for. That'll bring up second down.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10.
Come on, let's go!
Off play action. Crawford steps away. Going deep this time into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 40, and they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. Not the best of plays there as a quarterback. You're right-handed, rolling left, trying to throw it that far downfield.
I remember a coach of mine saying, son, that's the equivalent of trying to get the car keys out of your pocket with your opposite hand while you're trying to run. You just can't do it.
They'll start the drive with Drake. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
Throwing. Brissett. He goes underneath the Drake. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. So just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
Flex round!
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Dancing to his left. And he floated one out there incomplete. He was looking for Jack Doyle that time. And now it's 2nd down.
I would say it'd probably be a good idea for him to reintroduce himself to his receivers at the half, because they're definitely on different wavelengths. But I also don't advocate waiting that long. Next series, before you get out there, hey, let's get together, guys. Let's get this thing moving.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Here's Brissett. Forced out to his left. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away. And now it's 3rd.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of. Otherwise, he was going to get sacked.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. They go play action with Brissett. And the 3rd down pass falls incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin them back. Onto the field now come the Bears. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
Let's go!
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious, because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. 2nd and 9 now from the 21.
Let's go! What? 90! What? 90! Flex round! Flex round! Watch the twitch! Watch the twitch!
To throw on 2nd down. Crawford steps away to his left. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
So this is what happens when you throw interceptions. That confident veneer that you have gets chipped away a little bit. Maybe a little bit gun-shy throwing it around.
Yeah, underthrowing him there, and you're right. Those interceptions may be in the back of his mind. The Bears on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 9.
Ohio! Ohio! Come on, let's go! Brand 38!
Looking to throw. Crawford. Escaping the pressure right. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off at the 30. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. 4 minutes to play here in quarter number 2. First down, Brissett. They'll roll him out right. That'll be taken in there by Kenny Galladay. And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. That one for Indianapolis, resulting in 15 yards and a fresh set of downs. The Colts with a first red zone opportunity in the ball game. 1st and 10 right at the 20. On the give, this is Drake. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard. Line. A second down throw for Brissett. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
Here's Brissett being chased out left. He can run for it, and he will. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Now that's disappointing for the defense. They had the advantage, had excellent coverage all over the field, but they let him get away, scramble, and pick up a 1st down and inside the 5-yard line.
On 1st and goal, Drake. And he'll be stopped about a yard shy of the goal line after a pickup of about 3. 2 minutes remain in a scoreless first half. We're back to Soldier Field following this short break. Another shot from the 1 on 2nd and goal. On the ground, Geis, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Darius Geis, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Colts are in for 6.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you've got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
He'll buy some time right. Now he's going to throw deep right side. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some dust.
Yeah, especially, and he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 39. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line.
You hear me laughing, partner, and I'm not laughing at the situation, but sometimes you just get yourself into a rut. It's hard to shake yourself out of it.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Set on 1st down, eluding the pressure right. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football, because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion, and both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
The play fake. Here's Brissett. Buying time to his left. Throwing deep for Galladay. Adrian Amos with a pick. Powers through. And he'll wind up losing 5 yards or so on the return, but no matter, they've got the football back. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. He came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
Here we go now. 3-19. 3-19. Hot. Mike's 54. Mike's 54. Hot.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 38. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Colts TD.
Now, that was a beautiful play. A pick 6. How would you punctuate something like that, partner?
What do you mean, with an exclamation mark?
Exclamation mark, a big word. What would you do with that?
Ampersand?
I like it.
Extra point was hooking, but he does make it through. And it's now 14-0. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Bears offense now heading back out onto the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Hurry up, here we go.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Out to his left. And he'll be brought down by the Colts.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. That's caught by Howard. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. This quarterback now just 2 out of 6 since coming on, but he's got a 1st and 10.
Hey, you got 3. All right, here we go. Blue 90.
A give to Howard. Room to run inside the 40. And finally down at the 32-yard line. Well, who needs a halftime? Am I right? Let's resume play. So we come to halftime here with the visiting Colts taking the lead to the locker room. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So here's the Bears offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think they were just bad plays to call? Yeah. We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20.
Watch him now, Barney.
They run with Howard. Brought down around the 16 or 17. Showed some tough running, but couldn't free much space. 2 yards on the pickup. It'll be 2nd down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Now he'll be wrapped up around the waist and pushed down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. Another drive comes and goes. Still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. But you just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
Is Kern, the punter, to send this one away. And certainly not the greatest of kicks there. This one will be down inside their own 40-yard line. Here's the Colts now as they get ready for their first possession on offense of the second half. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you think you can take the spirit away from another team. That their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
On 1st down, Drake. Pretty move. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Give the Colts 13 yards and a 1st down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Flex round.
They go play action here on 1st down. Flush to his right. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
On 2nd down, Brissett again. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. First target, first catch, and a first down.
Flex round! Flex round!
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And he takes it in for a Colts score. Kenyon Drake, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Colts add on to their lead. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10.
Come on, let's go! White 90! White 90!
Back to the air on 2nd down. Crawford. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But the Bears look to get this one back, and indeed they did. So they'll keep possession.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back, because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Here we go! White!
Throwing on 3rd and long. Crawford is going to go for it, and he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off at the 45, and they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line.
Ohio! Ohio! Flex round! Flex round!
Brissett to throw on first. Rolling to his left. And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Hey, check 24! Flex round! Flex round! 58, right? Ohio! 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 Ohio!
A 2nd down throw for Brissett. It's complete here to T.Y. Hilton. That his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a first down there.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Check!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get down to about the 26-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. 2nd down, Brissett. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Adrian Amos with a pick, and he's going to return it to the 21-yard line. They needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the 3rd quarter. Defensively, they did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break, taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys,
let's go.
Come on, capitalize on this one.
Mike 4.
They'll begin the drive with Howard. And he'll take it ahead to the 28-yard line. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Ohio! Ohio! Come on, let's go! Red 38!
This is Howard on 2nd down. They'll only get a couple up to about the 30. The good run on first down followed up by a not-so-good run on 2nd down.
Now let's find out if they're going to stick with the run here on 3rd down. A lot of people would love to see some play action here. I say go with your best running play over your best blocker.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Ohio! 4 down, check. Come on, let's go! What? 90! What? 90!
They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1. And Robinson with a big catch. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It's a gain of 17, and it'll give him a first down.
Three down. Hey, check. Here we go. What? 90. What? 90.
Running with Howard. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man.
Come on, let's go. Red 38.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Crawford going up top for Miller. That's incomplete. Nearly another pick. My goodness.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time.
4 down. Come on, let's go.
To throw on 3rd down. Crawford. Middle of the field, it's Robinson. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. A gain of 19 and picking up the first. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10.
4 down.
Off the play fake. Crawford. He leaves this one for Howard. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Back to throw. Crawford. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. Back now at Soldier Field. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. This quarterback now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10.
Hey, we got. Let's go. Red 38. Red 38. Check 15. Check 15. Mike Ford. Mike Ford. Ohio. Ohio. I'm coming after you.
Now Howard. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play there. 2nd down.
Early down stuff's to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Tight end's right. Tight end's right. Let's go. Red 38. Red.
Off the bootleg. Crawford. That is caught inside the 5. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. Allen Robinson, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Bears cut into that lead. Elliott good with a PAT. And they'll cut the lead to 21-7. now to kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. Well, don't look now, but they've got a little bit of a battle on their hands again. Back to a two-score game. The interception that led to a touchdown. You'd have to think they're a little more careful here if they do indeed try to throw the football.
Yeah, and I was a little surprised by the last throw. You know, that type of throw in this type of a game, I'm going to be very careful about it. Maybe the only throw you make is maybe a toss to your halfback or something like that. Otherwise, take care of the thing and finish this bad boy off. But Brandon Pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Now, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
Brissett now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10.
Flex round! Flex round!
They'll hand it down to Geis. And now running right through him. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Eddie Jackson with a tackle.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellows up front in order to bring this one home.
To throw, Brissett dancing to his left. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that, and thus far they've been successful.
The Colts on 3rd down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 8.
Ohio! Ohio! Ohio!
From the shotgun, it's Brissett. Flushed out right. And he hits his man, Matthews. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. Another good reception there. The Colts on the march. Big hook up there. Forced to throw it on 3rd down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on 2nd down. Brissett now on 2nd down. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
Flex round! Flex round! Flex round! Ohio! Ohio!
On 3rd down, Brissett. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
And his kick is right there. It's good, and that will extend their lead even further. So with that, you figure this game's pretty much out of reach at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a comeback to come from 3 scores down, but don't change that channel. Don't go away. Miracles can happen, and you want to be here in case it does.
You're a company man.
Aren't I, though?
The Bears in good field position to start out 1st and 10. Operating from the gun. Crawford dumps that off to his running back, Jordan Howard. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. Call it a 3-yard gain, and it'll be a 2nd down.
Flex round! Flex round! Let's go!
From the gun, Crawford. Incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Operating from the gun, Crawford. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard.
Let's go! Spread 38!
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. It's caught inside the 25. And he'll be taken down, but first he gets deep into Indianapolis territory. Wow, 1st and goal, and defensively all they can do is shake their heads. Not only did they allow the conversion, but a big play as well. On 1st and goal, Howard. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. Give him 2 yards on that one. 2nd and goal now.
Every team we ever talk to that continues to run the ball in a game, even when they haven't had much success, all talks about attrition, don't they? If you keep running it, eventually good things are likely to happen. It's been a hard go in this game today, hasn't it?
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off with great anticipation. And nothing but daylight ahead. Past the 20. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Colts TD. Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. Extra point right down the middle. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Looking to throw. Crawford. And an alley to run. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line. What a nightmarish game he's having now. 6 interceptions that he has thrown.
Absolutely unbelievable, isn't it? Hard to believe we're watching this and have seen it, but it just tells you about the game of football. It giveth and it taketh away.
Yeah, the guys, though, that have thrown 6 interceptions in a game, the likes of Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, I think Joe Namath, he did it 3 times. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now it looks like he'll throw here. Escaping the pressure right. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Fourth quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
Throwing again, Brissett on 2nd and 10. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
The Colts on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd and 10. Out of the gun, Brissett. And he's got his man, Hilton. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. And they convert on 3rd with a gain of 22.
Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there.
And my goodness, another interception. Eddie Jackson picks it. And a short return will be stopped inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. And that gives him now 3 interceptions in the game.
Well, someone's locked into what they're trying to get done in the passing game. When was the last time we had someone get 3 in a contest?
2011, wasn't it? Kurt Coleman.
Oh, yeah, that's
then
right.
with the Eagles.
That's right. Then with the Eagles, and I believe it's against Washington and Rex Grossman.
That's correct. And now here's a timeout called by the Colts on the defensive side of the ball. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. To throw on 2nd down. Crawford. They'll set up the screen to Howard. And they'll hit him for a loss as he's back to his 2-yard line.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. On 3rd down, this is Howard. Oh, and he's not going to make it out of the end zone. The push too strong, and that'll be a safety. Things are just going from bad to worse now. It's a safety that does him in here, and that is one frustrated offensive unit.
They can't get out from under their own shadow right now. I mean, I know this is the NFL, but could you imagine a college crowd right now? Imagine what they'd be doing. They'd be chanting, "Start the bus," because they think this one is over.
So a free kick situation forthcoming from the 20 as they'll punt this one away. So they will accept the penalty and move forward. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10.
Tight right, tight right. Odd. 3 down. Odd. Take 4. He's mine. 59's Mike. Check. Hot.
From the gun, here's Brissett. He's going to fire this thing deep right side, and that's caught inside the 30. He got 29 yards that time.
And they just hit another big completion there, and I think in days gone by in the NFL, You might have asked, is this a little bit of overkill? Is this rubbing it in? I don't think people feel the same way nowadays.
It's the age-old argument. Then you could say on the other side, if you're going to get angry about it, stop it, right?
Go ahead and stop me. And I think a lot of the times they just look at it like, let's just play the game. And however it turns out, it turns out.
2nd and 10 now from the 27. A second down throw for Brissett. And now here is another interception. Picked off by Kyle Fuller. Past the 10 to the 11-yard line, and that's where the return stops. Well, Charles, it's great to win at home in the NFL. When you win on the road, it's a little extra special, isn't it?
It is because, let's face it, in most cases, you're not expected to go on the road and win in the National Football League. It just doesn't usually compute. So to get out there, get that done, and then head back to your city with one in the victory column, oh, that's a fantastic feeling.
So for Indianapolis, it's a win that might keep them alive in the playoff race as they're back to 500 at 5-5. And they'll return home next week to take on the Cleveland Browns. Meanwhile, for the Bears, add one more loss to the column. That drops them to a woeful 1-9 so far. And they'll look to get back on the beam next week as they host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.